Jalen Thomas will not play in the bowl because he underwent surgery on his shoulder. He played the last few weeks, injured, played really, really well. And so for his future, it was best to go ahead and get it fixed now. He'll make a full recovery, and that way he can, be ready when it comes draft time and all those things that involve there. And then the other one is Rashee Rice really wants to play, but he's not going to play. I know after our last game, he said he planned on playing. He did, he does, but the good news is I don't think he hurt his toe anymore by playing the last 9 weeks of the season on it, since we've been able to check it out since our last game. That's a blessing, but it just makes more sense to give him time to fully heal, which he will, doesn't need surgery or anything. And that way, when he gets to Senior Bowl and Combine and all that, hopefully he can be full speed and show everybody what he can do. So we're going to miss having those two guys out there, but, man, they gave us everything they had this year. Really proud of them, and they'll be with us. They just won't be playing.
What's Rashee's timetable for recovery?
I know I'd probably need to ask our doctors, but what I remember from the middle of the year when we knew it was injured but he was going to be able to continue playing, it felt like about a month after the season it would really calm down, kind of heal on its own. And that's really what went into the decision for him being allowed to play if he wanted to, which he did, was they didn't feel like it was surgical, which was good. So I think they felt like 4 weeks, and I could be a little more, a little less, would allow it. And so when you start looking at Senior Bowls into January and the Combine and those things, it just makes sense. I mean, the guy led the country in receiving in the regular season. He gave us everything he had, so I think he needs to be healthy for those things.
How did his teammates respond to the news?
Honestly, they're happy for him. I think they're happy for, Moochie and Austin, all the other guys are going to get more opportunities. So we just that's the funny thing internally, we just keep trucking along, next man up, kind of we've done all year. So I don't think there's any major issues.
Is Dylan Goff going to be able to play too?
Dylan will be out. Dylan suffered an injury against Memphis to his foot, not surgical, but he'll be fine by the spring, but he won't be able to play either.
How much of an opportunity is this for Moochie Dixon, Roderick Daniels?
Yeah, I think it's a huge opportunity for Moochie. Moochie's done a lot of good things this year, and so it's a great opportunity for him to shoulder a lot more of the load. And when he's had opportunities, he's made plays. A guy like Austin Upshaw obviously continue. Curly having him back's good. I think you saw what Roderick Daniels can do with the ball in his hands, playing a lot of different places. And so we're a little thinner now. But, I feel good about those guys that we got going in the game.
Can you speak to Roderick's development since he returned and came back, and he's just done a bunch of different things for you guys, it seems?
He really has. And, early on it was learning our players. And Roderick did some really good things at wideout early on. Of course, Jake was playing really well the little bit he got to play. And then Dylan started stepping up. But Roderick really settled in. Started doing a nice job at wideout. Obviously, we put him at running back some. I mean, what you start to notice is he's really good with the ball in his hands. And so he was really good last game, And so I think he's kind of settled into, what we're doing and what he's comfortable with. We got a good feeling for what he's good at, so we're trying to put him in better positions to make plays. And like I said, the last couple of weeks he's been one of our better playmakers.
With Rashee and Dylan out, does that take Roderick out of the running game and make him a full-time receiver for one more game at least?
Yeah, for sure he's going to play receiver. Hopefully Kamara will be back, ready to go. He's been able to practice the last few days, so we're optimistic about that. And then, the little extra time with guys like Velton and TJ, along with Levine, who's not had to use much duct tape over the last 2 weeks. So having those guys healthier than we did those last few games hopefully will not make us have to play Roderick at running back, because we're going to definitely need him at wideout.
Obviously, the bowl game is kind of the end of one season with this iteration of this team, but in a way, the last couple of years, it's also seemed like it's a spring forward for next year's team. So I guess how much of an opportunity is this to kind of get some momentum and kind of go into the offseason?
It's definitely a great opportunity. We're playing BYU, really good program, national brand, and so that's always a great opportunity, and we always want to win. You always got more momentum regardless of if you win. I mean, it is unique because the regular season's over, and this team accomplished a lot of things that were really good and positive for our foundation moving forward. And next year's team will be different because of freshmen and transfers. So it's not like this is the exact team that's going into next year, but there are a lot of things that can come out of it. Obviously, win gives you momentum anytime. Playing well, to your point, there's guys like Moochie and others who will get more opportunities. So if those guys play well, that could be a big confidence boost going into the offseason. But honestly, I mean, we want to win. We want to play well. We're really excited to be going. But this one game doesn't make or break this season, and it doesn't really make or break next season. It kind of stands alone, to be honest with you.
What's the hardest part of the BYU team to simulate in practice?
Well, they're really good on offense. I mean, they got a really good quarterback. They got really good wideouts. They got really good tight ends. They're really good on the O-line. Their running backs are good. I think they're all pretty good, and they can play with tempo. So that's a problem. And then on defense, they're really big. They do a really nice job of playing coverage, keeping everything in front of them. They play really hard, and they're all, a lot older than our guys. So they've got a lot of maturity and all those kind of things. So it's a good challenge. They're really, really, really well coached too. So it's a good overall challenge.
You can't simulate. We already talked a little bit about elevation. You can't simulate that here.
I know.
But it's also going to be a night game. It's going to be cold. I guess, is it more just, hey, guys, you gotta toughen up and get ready for it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, look, last time we talked, that question came up, and since I've learned that I think Albuquerque is like the highest elevation of any major metropolitan city in the country, which is great. So hopefully getting there on Wednesday will help us. We can't simulate that here in Dallas. We get there. The way our routine is, we'll do some things in the altitude, but it's not like Thursday and Friday you're going to wear them out. But we'll get a sweat in, we'll move around, and hopefully we'll acclimate. Usually you acclimate 2 or 3 days to altitude. Hopefully we do. The cold weather deal, I just got through telling them I hope it snows. We've got to have that mentality. We didn't handle it very well in our two-lane game. I don't think that had anything to do with it, but it was cold. You look at it, think of all the great quarterbacks and teams that win in the NFL in January. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. They play at home, and they play when it's 20 degrees, and you can see their breath, and they play really good. So it's football, Cold weather's a part of it. Yes, they play in altitude and cold weather more than we do. We gotta be ready for it, embrace it, and not let it bother us.
With the longer time before this game and with BYU losing a couple of defensive assistant coaches, does that tempt you to reach a little deeper into your playbook and try to offer new wrinkles?
Well, you're always up for new wrinkles. You want them to be wondering what you're going to do as much as you got to wonder what they're going to do. We do have more time, but, and they're dealing with the same thing with the recruiting crunch right now, and when the game's played, it doesn't feel like you have more time. So, I think they're probably going to do what has gotten them here. They'll probably have some wrinkles, obviously, with the defensive changes. We're going to try to do most of what we've done, but we've got some personnel changes. So, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see what we both come out doing and how we can adjust.
Going through the time crunch, you've gone through this, obviously the first year it's been like this. Do you wish maybe that there would be different windows, time periods, things, or is it just kind of is what it is and you gotta do it again?
I think it is what it is right now. I think over time, I think we're going in the right direction by having windows and those kind of things. When you do it, it's tough. We're doing it during finals. We're doing it during bowl game prep. During the transfer portal, during recruiting. So it all happens at once. And I don't, I'm sure after doing it a year, maybe 2, there'll be some suggestions and maybe some tinkering. But like I said, BYU's dealing with it, so are a lot of other teams playing in bowl games. It's part of it. And like I said, we're excited to play in a bowl game. We're really happy for our guys. It's a reward, playing a really good team, and it should be a lot of fun for our fans and our program.